You remember what are the topics that we are dealing with? We were dealing with geomorphology, right? We started with something known as what is folding, result of compression. Fold mountains are formed in this way, and we have just mentioned types of fold. No need, leave it. Then we have a special type of fold we have mentioned, that is known as reverse fold. This you must remember, that is as a result of compression you can get a crack. I said why you should remember this, because we have the example of this reverse fold, that is a crack developed as a result of compression in the Himalayas. Himalayas are very much famous for this reverse folds. Reverse folds എന്താണ് a compression കാരണം ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന cracks നെയാണ് reverse fold എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, and this is visible in the Himalayas, so you can remember that. Then we have seen what is a fault, generally a crack as a result of tension. Fold, this tension results in block mountain അല്ലെങ്കിൽ host and graben topography. We have mentioned these particular things. Then these are the examples. Then these are different types of faults. Leave it, no, not require much. Then we have seen what is continental drift theory. Wagner theory and that നോക്കി ആ theory based on ഏതൊക്കെ observations are നോക്കി. We have seen the observations. Finally we have seen limitations of this theory. Clear? So we understood this. And when I talk about limitations, now please give more focus to limitations of continental drift theory, right? The questions can come in a way that this continental drift theory, it paved way for your plate tectonics theory. Because this was the starting, study initially one further study improved, and that led to plate tectonics. So generally, yes, this is a first theory which initiated this particular study into more dominant, in a more dominant way, right? So yes, this is first step. But when I talk about the limitations, it has huge amount of limitations with respect to your plate tectonics. Clear? Why? Because just on last class we were discussing plate tectonic theory, and we have seen in plate tectonics that which is the area where you are getting earthquake. So no, that boundary interactions interact earthquake undavunnundu. We have seen that. This continental drift theory does not explain all these things. Earthquake earthquake it does not explain it. Clear? Next we have seen volcanism. Volcanic eruptions. Remember, we have seen divergence, plate crack undavunnundu. We have seen convergence, subduction, that is ocean convergence and ocean continent convergence. You are getting volcanic eruptions. So it is explained by plate tectonics. The continental drift theory will explain very formation of islands. See, though this continental drift theory slightly tried to explain the formation of island, you don't need to study that, but it could not explain it as properly done by your plate tectonics. It properly explained the formation of islands. It was not explained by continental drift theory. So we can say there is huge amount of drawbacks and weaknesses that continental drift theory could not explain, but plate tectonics explained. So in a way we can say that plate tectonics is an improvement upon continental drift theory. Continental drift theory vannu adath improve either studies further add cheythu finally we propose plate tectonics. But yes, this was the background. It is also a relevant theory. So understand all these concepts, right? So give focus to weaknesses of continental drift theory. So I can tell you that you can make a homework or a note at a single page you can mention weaknesses of continental drift theory. Think about it, compare with plate tectonics, and write from 5 to 10 points, so that if it comes in the exam you can directly recollect it. So that can be an important topic, weaknesses of continental drift theory. You understood both plate tectonics as well as continental drift theory, so you can think about the weaknesses. Clear? Please do it as a homework. Weaknesses of continental drift theory. Just one page, that's it. Points at these are the observations. I'm not going into details now. And we have seen convectional current theory. This was responsible for explaining the force responsible for movement of this land masses. So that is known as plates. Then we have seen ocean floor mapping. Another observations can do that. Further establish that land mass is continuously breaking, expanding, sea floor is spreading, all this particular thing. Then we have seen something known as this small concept known as geomagnetism, a small concept known as paleomagnetism, right? So finally we entered into plate tectonics in the last class. Here we have seen what is a plate. Plate is that solid portion which is there any issue with the internet? It is slow connection here. Is it clear, everybody? Slow connection. Is it clear? Am I visible, audible clearly?
Clear answer.
Yes, okay. If there is any issue, please let me know. Okay, now that internet connection is slow. Okay, so what is a plate? We have explained in the last class, and we have seen these plates are floating above the astronosphere, and they are broken, they are irregular. There are different types of plates, that is entirely continental, entirely oceanic, all these particular things, and they continuously interact among each other. We have discussed all these things, and when they interact among each other, they create different results. And results ഒക്കെ നമ്മൾ നോക്കിയിരുന്നു. We have discussed 7 major plates on the map of the world and some minor plates and interactions. Divergence നോക്കിയിരുന്നു, which happens inside the ocean. You get mid-oceanic ridge, you get your volcanic eruptions, you get your earthquake. ഇതെല്ലാം നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെ മെൻഷൻ ചെയ്തിരുന്നു. ആൻഡ് മാപ്പിൽ നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിരുന്നു ഓഷ്യന്റെ അടിയിൽ ഈ കാണുന്ന മിഡ് ഓഷ്യനിക് റിഡ്ജസ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു എല്ലാ ഓഷ്യനിലും, ഇൻക്ലൂഡിംഗ് ഇന്ത്യൻ ഓഷ്യൻ, പസഫിക് ഓഷ്യൻ ആൻഡ് അറ്റ്ലാന്റിക് ഓഷ്യൻ. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ബെസ്റ്റ് ഡെവലപ്പ് ഏത് ഓഷ്യനിലാണ് ചോദിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് യുവർ അറ്റ്ലാന്റിക് ഓഷ്യൻ. ക്ലിയർ? Next, we have seen divergence on the land. You get rift valleys and block mountains. These rift valleys can lead into formation of some lakes initially. And that, if it continues, that can become nascent sea in the present day Red Sea situation, and it can finally become an ocean in the Atlantic Ocean situation. That is divergence land. We get this rift valleys, we get block mountains, we can get earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. We have seen all these particular things. And land and example, we have considered Africa. Africa e examples continue. Next, we have yes mentioned about this area in Africa. We have mentioned about Africa. Then we have started with the second interaction, that is convergence. Convergence there are 3 types of interactions: ocean convergence, ocean continent convergence, and continent convergence. That mainly the core 3 convergence. When I take into consideration, whenever there was an oceanic plate is in convergence, there is density difference, because oceanic plates are generally heavy. So density difference heavy plates, they generally have a tendency to dive beneath the lighter plate. We have seen that. So in case clearly ocean convergence heavy plate subducts. As a result, it melts, it results into formation of volcanic island arc. Then example entire Japan area, Indonesian area, Philippines area, that is entire western side of Pacific Ocean. Area interaction main important product is volcanic island arcs. And അതിന്റെ കൂടെ നമുക്ക് ഫ്രീ ആയിട്ട് ആരൊക്കെയാ കിട്ടുക volcanic island arc വരുന്നു. അത് കൂടാതെ we are getting trends in this area, we are getting strong earthquakes in such areas, we can get tsunamis in such areas, right? All these events we have studied. These are the result of ocean convergence. So this is how islands are formed. We have seen. Next, we have seen, this is the example, right? Remember this figure. Okay, this is a very good figure to show ocean continent convergence. So ocean continent convergence, as a result you are getting islands here. This is the best figure to explain. Then we have seen ocean continent convergence. Ocean continent convergence ഒരു പ്ലേറ്റ് ലൈറ്റർ ആണ്. As a result of that, oceanic plate will subduct, and lighter plate രണ്ട് ചേഞ്ച് ആണ് വരിക. One change is, as a result of melting of the oceanic plate, it results in volcanic eruption. Second case is, the heavier plate is colliding with the lighter plate. As a result, the lighter plate starts getting deforming, and that deforming ആണ് നമ്മൾ folding എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത്. ഇവിടെ fold mountains ഉണ്ടാവുന്നു, volcanic eruptions ഉണ്ടാവുന്നു, earthquakes ഉണ്ടാവുന്നു, trenches ഉണ്ടാവുന്നു. We have seen this condition, and the best example was our western side of North America and South America. That is this side, entire this side and this side. So that means when I say Pacific Ocean, നമ്മൾ mention ചെയ്തിരുന്നു Pacific Oceanന്റെ രണ്ട് സൈഡിലും oceanic convergence നടക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. What is that? This is my western side of Pacific. Western side of Pacific interaction ഏതാണ് നടക്കുക? This ocean convergence. This is my eastern side of Pacific. അവിടുത്തെ interaction എന്താണ്? Ocean continent convergence. Ocean convergence result ആയിട്ട് you can see series of islands in this area. Ocean continent convergence result ആയിട്ട് you can see series of fold mountains in these areas. All these areas are volcanically very active area. So this area is known as Pacific Ring of Fire. All these areas are earthquake prone areas. All these areas are tsunami prone areas. And finally, we can say that Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean in the present day world. But what is the present situation? Size is gradually getting reduced. Why reduced? Because ividayum oceanic plate is subducting. Oceanic plate adilotu povana, that is, it is dying off. ഈ സൈഡിലും oceanic plate അടിയിലോട്ട് പോവാണ്, it is dying off. So രണ്ട് സൈഡിലും oceanic plate is subducting in between other plates. As a result, we can say Pacific Ocean the size gradually it is decreasing. But when I say Atlantic Ocean നമുക്ക് ഈ interaction ആയിരുന്നില്ല നമ്മൾ കണ്ടത്. Atlantic Ocean interaction എന്തായിരുന്നു? If you remember, this is my Atlantic Ocean. So Atlantic Ocean middle നമ്മൾ കണ്ട divergence ആയിരുന്നു. So divergence കാരണം what is happening in the Atlantic Ocean? The Atlantic Ocean is continuously expanding in size. Atlantic Ocean എങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു? അതൊന്നും ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു. Africa and South America was attached, right? അതിന്റെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് സ്ഥലം കൂടി അത് വലുതായി വന്നതാണ്. It expanded, and this expansion continues now in the present day also. So please remember, if you want to differentiate between Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean, the very basic difference is Atlantic Ocean, we can say it is the best example of diverging boundary. That is, the ocean is expanding. It is the best example of divergence. While if you say Pacific Ocean, we can say it is the best example of converging boundary. As a result, the size of Pacific Ocean is gradually decreasing in size, while the size of Atlantic Ocean is gradually increasing in size. That can be the perfect difference in between Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean. Is that clear? This much? Everybody? So then we have discussed the third type of convergence, that is the case of Himalayas, continent-continent convergence, and we have discussed the question as well here. And then the UPC question we have discussed here, we have seen that this continent-continent convergence, it results into earthquakes, it results into fold mountain, but there is no volcanic activity associated with it. Clear? That's why in the Himalayas we don't have volcanism. And subduction avade illa. Clear? Because both are lighter plates and they are colliding and getting deformed, and that results to the formation of fold mountains. Now please remember, when I say these two land masses are colliding with each other, their plates land mass they are not that much elastic. Yes, they are elastic, but not too much elastic. Rubber band. So naturally, when you compress it too much, it can crack. As a result of crack, cracks. ഈ ക്രാക്സിനെയൊക്കെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഫോൾട്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ റിവേഴ്സ് ഫോൾട്ട് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. സോ ഹിമാലയാസിൽ വി ഹാവ് ഹ്യൂജ് എക്സാമ്പിൾസ് ഓഫ് റിവേഴ്സ് ഫോൾട്ട്, റൈറ്റ്? ഒരുപാട് റിവേഴ്സ് ഫോൾട്ട്സ് നമുക്ക് ഹിമാലയയിൽ കാണാൻ പറ്റും ആസ് എ റിസൾട്ട് ഓഫ് വെരി സ്ട്രോങ് കൺവേർജൻസ് ഇൻ ദാറ്റ് ഏരിയ. ദിസ് ഈസ് മൈ third type of interaction where I get fold mountain. Second, now I am going to third interaction. Just on nokkirikko, it is not much important, you won't get direct questions here. Transform boundary interaction. If you ask me what is transform boundary interaction, here the plate just slides by, right? We have discussed three types of fault in the last class. Fault three types. One is normal fault. Normal fault was a result of tension. Second is reverse fault. Reverse fault was a result of compression. And third is, this is known as transform fault, which is a result of sliding. When plates interact, right, there can be three types of interaction. Either they can come together and collide, that is known as convergence. Second interaction, they can move apart, divergence. Third, they can slide past. So in a slide past chain interaction ആണ് transform boundary interaction എന്ന് പറയുക. It's a minor interaction. നമുക്ക് ഒരുപാട് സ്ഥലത്തൊന്നും കാണാൻ കിട്ടാറില്ല. Majorly, it's an interaction you can see inside the oceans. Ocean of the interaction ഒരുപാടുണ്ട്, but landil കുറവാണ്. One major example ഉണ്ട്. I will show it to you. Clear? Now please remember, when I say transform boundary interaction, ഇതുവിടെയും fault എന്നാ പറയുന്നത്, transform fault. Why? Because of this movement, the plate is cracking here. That's why it is known as fault. Clear? It's cracking. So you can see, if you can see a river which was flowing in this area, ideally a river ingane nere varendadana, but what happened, as a result of transform fault, the river has changed its path. Ivodunna divert ചെയ്ത് വീണ്ടും തിരിച്ച് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് ഇറങ്ങി വന്നു. So അങ്ങനെ പല events നമുക്ക് transform boundary interactions ഒക്കെ ഉള്ള സ്ഥലത്ത് കാണാൻ പറ്റാറുണ്ട്. The river course can shift. Okay, leave that as well. Now, it's not much important there. Now, you can remember one thing, when there is friction between the plates, when two plates are sliding, I can say these are also earthquake prone areas. Earthquake varam, because the plates are sliding, slide friction കാണും. Friction ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ it can lock ആയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ suddenly release ആകാൻ energy കൂടുതൽ വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ that can result into earthquake. So ഇവിടെയും earthquakes വരാം. And the crack ഉണ്ട് ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു. And if this crack is a severe crack, even you can get volcanic eruptions. Clear? Generally, you remember earthquake is a common activity. Okay. Now, as I said, it is a major interaction in the oceans. So let me just show one thing. You have one major example over land. Example, we have discussed Pacific plate is colliding with North American plate. It was convergence. But because of the shape of this area, you might have heard about your California. This is known as Gulf of California, right? So, Californian Peninsula ഈ ഏരിയയിൽ ചെറിയ രീതിയിൽ ആ പ്ലേറ്റ് തമ്മിൽ ഒന്ന് സ്ലൈഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. എൻറ്റയർ പ്ലേറ്റ് ഈസ് കൺവേർജിങ്, ബട്ട് ഈ ഏരിയയിൽ ഇന്ററാക്ഷൻ നോക്കാനാണെങ്കിൽ സ്ലൈറ്റ്ലി ദേ ആർ sliding. As a result of that slide, you are getting a product here that is known as San Andreas Fault. നമ്മുടെ കാലിഫോർണിയയിലുള്ള ഒരു സാധനമാണ് San Andreas Fault. You can just remember this one thing, one example regarding transform boundary interaction. ഇവിടെയാണ് transform boundary interaction. ചെറുതായിട്ട് Pacific plate and North American plate ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് slide ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. As a result, you are getting San Andreas Fault. എവിടെയാണ് San Andreas Fault? It is in the California region of North America, California region of USA. So you are getting San Andreas Fault. This is only a prominent example that you can see on the land. Rest these interaction, that is your transform interaction, it lies inside the ocean. Clear? Let's just see inside. This is San Andreas Fault. Shear force develop avunnundu. Right? You can see the wrinkle land masses. Just remember that. So San Andreas Fault is a result of transform boundary interaction between Pacific plate and North American plate. The California region of North America. Not more than that is required. So remember that particular thing. I hope you have written. Clear? Now, see, can you see here? This is an oceanic ridge, right? Mid-oceanic ridge. This ridge is a continuation on this ridge. But there is a gap. Why is there a gap? The gap is a result of this transform boundary interaction. Now I will explain. Transform boundary interaction can be of two types. Can be two types means just one plate is moving towards this direction and one plate is moving towards this direction. That is, they are moving in opposite direction. And that results into a crack. Now please remember, transform boundary can be developed even if two sections of a plate is moving in the same direction. For example, suppose this, you can see this, I guess, this is two plates. This is a single plate, suppose. A single plate, a plate is moving in this direction. And suppose while moving in this direction, two sections of this plate, they can have two different velocities. For example, suppose this section of the plate, it moves faster, but it comes slower. It moves faster, it moves slower. Velocity maybe adil move astronosphere convective cell velocity based on amount of heat present in that area. So what can happen? Some section of plate can move faster, some section can come slower. Velocity difference you can get a crack in between. So not necessary that they move in opposite direction. While moving in same direction, if they move with differential velocity, you can get cracks in between. Such cracks are also referred as transform boundary interaction. So here you can see ocean ridge transform boundary interaction. This oceanic ridge, it is generally moving in the same direction, but there is change in rate between this section and this section. As a result, crack, and that is your transform boundary interaction. We have actually seen this. I will just show you. We have seen the bottom of Atlantic flow somewhere, and you can see it there. Let me show you. Do you remember this figure? This crack is known as oceanic ridge. But if you see it clearly, in this crack, you can see this perpendicular cracks also. That is a result of transform boundary interaction. E section, they are not moving with the same rate. You have differential rate within the same plate. As a result, you are getting a crack. And those are transform boundary interaction. You want to clearly see, this is my Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean, this is the oceanic ridge, central ridge, mid-oceanic ridge. But can you see this is a crack in between the oceanic ridge? Can you see all these perpendicular lines which are cracks in the oceanic ridges? So these perpendicular cracks are results of differential movements, and those cracks are referred as transform boundaries or transform cracks. So that's why I said most of these transverse cracks or transform interaction, you can majorly see it inside the oceans. Land. So please remember, here also you can have volcanic eruptions. Here also you can have earthquakes. This much is the thing you have to can remember with respect to transform boundary interaction. Not more than that is required. So please tell me, is it clear? Transform boundary. If it is clear, let's move into the next area. If you have doubt, you can ask. So we are done up to plate tectonics theory. That is our geomorphology basic area. Plate tectonics, if I want to conclude plate tectonics, can I say plate tectonics explain The formation of land masses. Geomorphology എന്തായിരുന്നു? Geomorphology is the study of formation of land masses, right? Exogenic force versus endogenic force. അതിനകത്ത് endogenic forces ന്റെ കാര്യം പറയുവാണെങ്കിൽ I can clearly say geomorphology explain the formation of land masses. എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് explain ചെയ്തത്? Do you remember? Can I say it explain the formation of fold mountains? Himalayas formation പറഞ്ഞു തന്നു, Rockies, Andes ഇതെല്ലാം പറഞ്ഞു തന്നു. It explained the formation of block mountains. Block mountains നമ്മൾ എവിടെയാ കണ്ടത്? ആഫ്രിക്കയുടെ രണ്ട് സൈഡിലാണ് ബ്രേക്ക് വരുന്നതിന്റെ സൈഡിൽ നമുക്ക് ബ്ലോക്ക് മൗണ്ടൈൻ്റെ എക്സാമ്പിൾ നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിരുന്നു. It explained the formation. Can I say it explained the occurrence of earthquakes and volcanism? That is, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് plate interaction അറിയാമെങ്കിൽ, plate boundaries അറിയാമെങ്കിൽ, you can clearly say which is the area which has continuous earthquakes, which is the area where you can have volcanic eruptions. എങ്ങനെ പറയാം? Volcanic eruptions എവിടെ വരാം? Divergence നടക്കുന്ന സ്ഥലത്ത് വരാം, convergence oceanic plate ഉള്ള സ്ഥലത്ത് വരാം. Those are the volcanically active area. Earthquake prone area എങ്ങനെ പറയാം? Any plate interaction, any boundaries can have earthquakes. And the ഏറ്റവും strongest ഉണ്ടാവുക convergence because friction is more in that area. So earthquake prone area പറഞ്ഞു തന്നു. Can I say it explained the formation of islands, plate tectonics? Then can I say it explained the formation of trenches? Can I say it explained the formation of oceanic ridges? Yes. So these are the relief features that you have on the earth. The relief features ഒക്കെ എങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടായി? Because of endogenic forces is explained by plate tectonics. So that was the purpose of studying plate tectonics. It explained the formations. Clear? Okay. ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞു തരാം. Because it is associated with Himalaya, you can just see it here in this slide. I'm just introducing a small word which is known as geosyncline. ഒന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുക, because if you want to frame some answer, you can use it. Old mountains the question ഒക്കെ വരുവാണെങ്കിൽ you can use those. എന്തുവാണ് just ഒന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞിരുന്നാൽ മതി, അതിൽ കൂടുതൽ ആവശ്യമില്ല. The word is geosyncline. Clear? Now please remember, you all might have heard something that Himalayan mountains you have seen fossils of some terrestrial animals as well as marine animals. That means Himalaya different types of fishes and fossils കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ലാൻഡിലുള്ള ആനിമൽസിന്റെ ഫോസിൽ അവിടെ കിട്ടും because it is a part of land, but അവിടെ marine organismത്തിന്റെ fossils കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. You might have heard that. So what does that mean? You're getting fossils of marine animals in the Himalayas. That means that once upon a time that area was somewhere inside the water where these marine animals lived. As a result of that, you are getting that marine animals in that area. Now, to show that how that happens, please remember, continental drift theory you can consider this section as your Eurasian section of the plate and this section as Indian section of the plate. ഓർമ്മയുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ mainly Eurasian plate ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, Indian plate താഴേന്ന് എവിടെയോ മൂവ് ചെയ്ത് വന്നു and it gradually collided with this. So ഈ രണ്ട് സെക്ഷൻ ഓർത്തിരിക്കുക. ഈ രണ്ട് സെക്ഷനിൽ the southern portion ആണ് ഞാൻ പറയുന്ന ഈ portion. This is my southern section and this is my northern section. Clear? So this is the Eurasian plate and this is the Indian plate, suppose. Now when the Indian plate comes nearer to the Eurasian plate, can I say the situation is something like this? Both the plates are very close to each other now. In between, you have a narrow sea. A narrow sea on either. That is two continents. They almost came near. They are about to collide. In between, you have a narrow sea. So what will happen? When I say it's a narrow sea, the depth will be relatively less. And can I say this sea will experience huge. Okay, now please tell me one thing. Okay, if it is a narrow sea, two plates are coming together and they are about to collide. Now please tell me, in this narrow sea, life form or biodiversity, will it be rich or poor? That is, life forms you have a very narrow sea in between two land masses which are about to hit. A narrow sea life
biodiversity.
Why?
Transition area
landform.
Depth
very good. Yes, very good. So, yes, very good. Our depth koravana. Yes, depth korava actually it is a photic zone. Photic zone means light sunlight and sunlight is the ultimate source of life on the earth. So life because you have photic zone in this area. When I say it's a narrow sea with huge amount of sedimentation, sedimentation because land in the reversum, it will be entering into this narrow area. ഈ ലാൻഡിൽ റിവർ കാണും, ആ റിവർ ഇങ്ങോട്ടായിരിക്കും ഒഴുകി വരിക. ഈ ലാൻഡിൽ റിവർ കാണും, അതും ഇങ്ങോട്ട് ഒഴുകി വരാം. So when rivers drain into the sea, it brings huge amount of nutrients and sediments, and that also results in increasing life forms. Clear? So remember, such areas are rich in life forms. Now ഇവിടെ ഈ രണ്ട് landmass ഇപ്പൊ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു they are about to collide, that does not mean that they will collide very fast in a day, in a month or in a year. That will also take millions of years. അടുത്ത് വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാലും ഒരു പ്ലേറ്റിന്റെ മൂവ്മെന്റ് റേറ്റ് if you want to know, average is somewhere around 5 to 10 centimeters per year. That is ഒരു ഇത്രയും മൂവ്മെന്റ് ആയിരിക്കും ഒരു വർഷം ഉണ്ടാവുക. So അത്രയും ഗ്രാജുവലി മൂവ് ചെയ്ത് വരുമ്പോൾ takes time to hit. And that means this narrow sea, it exists for a very long time. A very long time le excessive sedimentation നടന്നുകൊണ്ടേ ഇരിക്കുകയാണ്. Sedimentation എവിടെ നിന്നൊക്കെ നടക്കുന്നുണ്ട്? രണ്ട് ഏരിയ ആണ്. You have sedimentation from the land, that is ലാൻഡിൽ നിന്ന് ഒഴുകി വരുന്ന റിവേഴ്സ് സെഡിമെന്റ്സ് കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നുണ്ട്. അത് കൂടാതെ you have sediments that is within the ocean. ഓഷ്യനകത്തുള്ള ലൈഫ് ഫോംസ് ഡെഡ് ആൻഡ് ഡീക്കേ ആവുന്നുണ്ട്, ഫിഷസ് ഡെഡ് ആൻഡ് ഡീക്കേ ആവുന്നുണ്ട്. As a result of that അവരുടെ സെഡിമെന്റ്സും വരുന്നുണ്ട്. So I can say this geosynclinal area, it has huge and continuous sedimentation for a very long time. അതിനകത്ത് ആരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്? ലാൻഡിൽ നിന്നുള്ള സാധനമുണ്ട്, ഓഷ്യനിൽ നിന്ന് വരുന്ന സാധനമുണ്ട്. ആസ് എ റിസൾട്ട് അതിനകത്തുള്ള ഫോസിൽ ഡെവലപ്പ് ആവുമ്പോൾ എവിടെ നിന്നൊക്കെ വരും? ലാൻഡിൽ നിന്നുള്ള സാധനം വരും, മറൈൻ സാധനം വരും. Now when it get compressed further, ഈ sediments ഒക്കെ ഫോൾഡ് ആയി തുടങ്ങും. Clear? Let me show it here. Can you see it here? This is the initial stage. അത് രണ്ടും ദൂരെ നിൽക്കുക, ഇടയ്ക്ക് അത് നാരോ ആയി വരുവാണ്, സെഡിമെന്റേഷൻ കൂടിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. When it comes very closer, the sediments will start folding up. You might have heard about the Himalayan mountains are made up of relatively softer materials at a number of places. Himalayas lo landslide ഒരുപാട് കൂടുതല. Remember, we have encountered a question in the UPSC that Himalayas are prone to landslide compared to Western Ghats. I will take that question again. Now that question the answer നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പറയാനാണെങ്കിൽ ഹിമാലയാസ് എങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടായതാണ്? ഹിമാലയാസ് ഉണ്ടാവുന്നതിന്റെ മുന്നേ ജിയോസിൻക്ലൈൻസ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ആ ജിയോസിൻക്ലൈൻസിൽ you have softer sediments. These softer sediments are compressed as a result of plate movement, and they gradually or eventually get folded up into different layers. അതാണ് നമുക്ക് ഹിമാലയാസിൽ മറൈൻ സെഡിമെന്റ്സും മറൈൻ ഫോസിൽസും this terrestrial fossils എല്ലാം കാണാൻ കിട്ടുക. And when I say these are sediment, they are relatively softer materials, and softer materials can result into more easy landslides. Is that clear? Can you link this concept? Himalayas mountains അല്ലെങ്കിൽ fold mountains le geosyncline role endana, ee sediments inde role endana? Can you understand this? Clear?
Sir, clear answer.
Yes. So just know that particular അത്ര ഒന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുക. എവിടെയെങ്കിലും ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ അത് നമ്മളെ ക്വാളിറ്റി ഒന്നുകൂടെ ഇംപ്രൂവ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ you can use these things. It is better. Geosynclines and ഇടയ്ക്ക് ഇങ്ങനെ sediments ഉണ്ടായത് you can, it's better. Okay, so that is it. That is geosyncline. ആ ചെറിയൊരു കൺസെപ്റ്റ് ഓർത്തിരിക്കുക. Done. So we are done up to this area. Entire plate tectonics വരെ കഴിഞ്ഞു, ലാൻഡ് ഫോംസ് ഡെവലപ്മെന്റും കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം കഴിഞ്ഞു. Clear? Okay, fine. Now we can start with earthquake, right? So it's a new topic here. നമ്മൾ എങ്ങും എടുത്തിട്ടില്ല, I guess. Shall I start? Earthquake. Now, when I say earthquake, please remember the study that we are going to do will be relatively different in comparison to the study that we have already did for the prelims preparation. I'm saying this before. You might have seen a video I have sent to you that I have taken this earthquake classes, earthquakes and volcanism. It was with that youth welfare board in Endoverno. I sent that video. If you have seen that, another earthquake or technical way, the reason is we were to answer it with respect to prelims. But here, nobody is going to ask you too much into the technical lines. UPSC question paper continue, it's more of a generalized question. So generalized question, what are the things we must focus when we have to understand earthquake? Slightly, of course, yes, we have to study the technical aspects. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് earthquake വരിക, and intensity measurement എങ്ങനെയാണ് അതിന്റെ, and one more thing here, you have to understand about the interior of the earth. The study of earthquake will help us in understanding the interior of the earth. So from your UPSC syllabus, നിങ്ങളുടെ KS syllabus വെച്ച് നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ two things are mentioned there. Earthquake mention ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്, interior of the earth mention ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. Both the portions will be completed in this single area here. So we will try to finish earthquake here. So earthquake finish ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ, when I say in KS mains perspective, we have to complete this topic considering disaster management. Clear? Because earthquake can become a disaster in a country, maybe India thanne, because northern part is earthquake prone area. So as a result, you must study this area with respect to disaster management. How we are going to manage this earthquake? So we will cover this earthquake in that holistic manner so that you can answer such questions also. So let's start. First thing first. So what is an earthquake. Clear? So what is an earthquake? Basic term, it's a sudden vibration of the earth. Yes or no? Sudden vibration or sudden shaking of the earth's surface. Why does this happen? It happens because of plate tectonics. You can, in a way, you can answer not only plate tectonics, but that is the one of the main source of earthquakes. Now, before entering into this, if I ask you which are the earthquake prone areas on this earth, can I say it is very easy for you to answer now because you already know plate tectonics? Check this map. The dark colored dots കാണുന്ന സ്ഥലം, this were our converging boundary. Do you remember? These were very strong converging boundaries, and we have studied converging boundaries results into very strong earthquakes. Pacific Ocean the രണ്ട് side നോക്കുക, east side also. This is a very strong earthquake prone area. Entire Himalayan belt, entire Alpine belt. So these are the areas where you have very strong earthquakes. And then dark line dark dotted areas because these are the areas which are having very strong earthquakes. And if you can see this, they are all converging boundaries. You can see inside the oceans these lighter dotted lines. What is this? These are divergence. Divergence ulla സ്ഥലങ്ങളിലും earthquake vararundi. So yes, you have earthquake in these areas. Divergence lo undu, but they are relatively weak. So you know about why earthquake occurs because you know plate tectonics, and you know about which are the earthquake prone areas. Yeah, this much you know. Now we'll just discuss some other areas in between. What are the types of earthquake? We'll move into this technical aspect. What are different types of earthquake? You mention anybody? Different types of earthquakes.
Volcanic earthquake.
Sorry? Yes,
Volcanic.
Okay, volcanism also. That means if you have a very strong volcanic explosions, that can result into earthquake. No doubt. Yes.
Collapse.
Associated with volcanism.
Collapse earthquake.
Collapse earthquake. Very good. What is collapse earthquake?
Mining
Is it a man-made? Is it a man-made or a natural earthquake? Collapse earthquake.
Mining areas.
Mining areas. Yes. Very good. So can I say it's a man-made earthquake? അല്ലെങ്കിൽ anthropogenic earthquake? നമ്മളായിട്ട് കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നില്ലേ? Mining ആരാ ചെയ്യുക? നമ്മളായിട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ലേ? So when we do unscientific mining, that can result into collapse earthquake. So it's a man-made earthquake. Then
dams near dams.
Reservoir induced.
Dams.
Yes, very good, very good. Dams, they are known as reservoir induced earthquake. Can I say again that is human-made earthquake?
Yes, sir.
Anthropogenic earthquake?
Yes.
Yes. Then what else?
Ground shaking.
Ground shaking means earthquake ground shaking. Okay, just write few types. Okay, answers just a structure just causes of earthquake. Causes of earthquakes. Okay, causes of earthquakes you can divide it into two. One is natural causes, second part is anthropogenic causes. So first let's mention natural causes. Natural causes of earthquakes. First one we can directly mention plate tectonics. That is a basic cause. Plate tectonics, that is the natural cause. That is plate interaction. You have three types of boundaries. All these three boundaries, boundary interaction that results into earthquake, maybe based on different intensities, but all of them that creates earthquake. So first is plate tectonics, natural cause. Second natural cause you can mention meteoritic strikes. Meteoritic strikes, meteoritic impact. Okay, so this is relatively rare now, but geological history lo pandake ഒരുപാട് severely നടക്കാറുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. That is strong meteorites ഒക്കെ on earth ആയിട്ട് തട്ടി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ that results into some shaking and everything. So meteoritic strikes can lead to earthquake. ഇനിയും നടക്കാം, we cannot say. So meteoritic strikes can lead to earthquakes. Next one, strong landslides can result into earthquakes. We can mention that one. Strong landslides, ഒരുപാട് strong ഒരു landslide ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ടാവുകയാണെങ്കിൽ and at that nearby area can experience earthquake, but it won't be that too. It won't be very strong. You will get a feeble earthquake, a lighter earthquake. Clear? Landslide associated earthquake. Nearby areas can feel it. Next is you can write one more. That is isostatic rebound. Isostatic rebound. I will mention what is it. Please write on isostatic rebound. Okay. Now just understand the meaning of this word isostasy. You don't have to write anything. You don't need to study isostasy here. But what is isostasy? You just have to link it. See, isostasy means the earth, it maintains a balance. That is, what is that balance? The balance is the weight of the earth. That is, see, round earth is stable because you have two types of force. One, a force is active from above the earth, Second is a force is active from below. So two forces, they are in equilibrium. Earthinte ullinu varuna force porthunu exert in the weight, these two are in balance, and when these two are in balance, there is no strong movement, and that balance of inside force with respect to outside weight or force is referred as isostatic balance. നിങ്ങളൊന്ന് ആലോചിച്ച് നോക്കുക, പുറത്തെ ഫോഴ്സ് വീക്ക് ആയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും? ലാൻഡ് മാസ് അകത്തെ ഫോഴ്സ് കൂടി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ദിസ് ഏരിയ ക്യാൻ റൈസ് അപ്പ്, റൈറ്റ്? പുറത്തുനിന്നുള്ള ഫോഴ്സ് കൂടി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻ? ദിസ് ഏരിയ ക്യാൻ get a depressed, this area can become a depressed land. So the balance is there. What is that balance? The inside force versus outside force, there is a balance. This balance is known as isostasy or isostatic balance. Is that clear? Just remember that isostatic balance means the inside force versus outside force, you have a balance on the Earth's surface. Now if that balance is disturbed, anyway, it can be natural, it can be man-made reason. For example, natural reason or example, man-made example, it will be easier, I guess. So let's see. നമ്മൾ എവിടെയൊക്കെയോ പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നു, നിങ്ങൾ ആരൊക്കെ ഇപ്പൊ എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നു, റിസർവോയർ ഇൻഡ്യൂസ്ഡ് എർത്ത് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഡാം കാരണം ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന എർത്ത്. What is a reservoir? You are creating a reservoir and you are creating a dam and you are storing huge amount of water in it. So when you are storing huge amount of water in a localized area, that disturbs the isostatic balance. Yes or no? കാരണം മേളിൽ നിന്ന് താഴോട്ട് എക്സർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന വെയിറ്റ് കൂടി ഒരു ഏരിയയിൽ വെള്ളം ഒരുപാട് കോൺസെൻട്രേറ്റ് ആയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ആ ഏരിയയുടെ വെയിറ്റ് കൂടുവാണ്. വെയിറ്റ് കൂടുമ്പോൾ the outside force increases. Outside force increase ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ this balance is disturbed now, and that can result into earthquake. This is man-made condition. In natural condition പറയുവാണെങ്കിൽ, suppose ഒരു ഏരിയയിൽ ഒരു mountainous slope ഒക്കെ ഉള്ള ഏരിയ ആണ്, you have certain weight in that area. Because of excessive rainfall, that area experiences huge amount of erosion അല്ലെങ്കിൽ landslides. As a result of that, continuous removal of material happens on the surface. That continuous removal of material happens means അവിടുത്തെ weight കുറയുവാണ്. weight കുറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അടിയിലത്തെ weight increases. So that can result into this bouncing up of landmass from inside. So that is known as isostatic balance. Is it clear? ഇത് മനസ്സിലാവാത്ത ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ?
Clear ആണ്.
Clear ആണ്. So yes, this isostatic rebound can also lead to earthquake. So these are, please remember, the natural causes of earthquake. Next, you can mention anthropogenic causes, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ man-made causes of earthquake. First one, nuclear explosion. First one, nuclear explosion. So what is that? You are testing, right? Continuously testing. North Korea can daily see this particular thing. So regularly you are testing this nuclear bombs and everything. As a result of that, it can lead to a strong impact. That impact lead to this earthquakes in the surrounding areas. So nuclear explosions. Next, mining. And the bracket as you mentioned, collapse earthquake. Mining. Now, see, mining, there are different types of mining. One is you have overcast mining, right? That is surface ore on the surface of the earth. You are mining it from the surface. That is known as overcast mining. And you have underground mining. That is some of the ores, they are present inside the landmass. For example, India, Orissa, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, that area is very much famous for coal reserves. And some areas you do this open cast mining, overground mining. What is that? You are just mining, ore is present on the surface, you are mining it, taking it out from the surface. But some areas, they are present at considerable depth. So what you do, you create a mine, you go inside, you create a hollow cavity, and you dig out the material from that area. So what happens? It creates a cavity inside. Yes or no? So there are certain rules, mentioned from dictated from the government side, that if you are taking this material outside at a particular rate, you have to fill those areas with sandbags. That is, sandbag fill. Clear? There are government guidelines regarding this particular thing. But definitely the greediness, clearly, because of this, what happens is the mining rate is much faster than the filling up of those areas. So as a result, huge cavities are left over in certain areas in the mines. Our Orissa area, Talcher is a very famous mine in Orissa. So huge cavities are കാണാറുണ്ട്. So ചില സമയത്ത് ചെറിയൊരു ഇഷ്യൂ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മഴയൊക്കെ പെയ്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ചെറിയൊരു earthquake വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ that entire mine can get collapsed, and that collapsing can lead to, കാരണം അടിയിൽ hollow locationലോട്ട് ഇടിഞ്ഞങ്ങ് താഴെ വീഴും, and that can lead to earthquakes. That is your collapse earthquake. So please remember, collapse earthquake is associated with unscientific underground mining. Clear? That is your collapse earthquake. Next, you can mention this constructional activities, unscientific constructional activities. Unscientific constructional activities. What is unscientific constructional activities? Or a fragile area, strong area, just a fragile area, you are constructing very strong, very huge and heavy construction. You are doing huge and heavy construction activities. That can again disturb the isostatic balance in that area. That can result into earthquakes in that area. So unscientific construction in a fragile area can lead to earthquake. And last one you can mention reservoir induced earthquakes. Earthquakes associated with dams. Reservoir induced earthquakes. So reservoir induced earthquakes and it disturbs isostatic balance. So area dam undaki water store at the natural weight disturbed by isostasis disturbed by. Isostasis disturbed by it can result into bounding. There's this bouncing back of lands, and that can result into earthquakes. So these are various types of earthquakes, or these are the various causes of earthquake. Is this clear, everyone? So let's move into the next area. Let's see what is this earthquake, how it originates. So earthquake it's a sudden shaking, sudden vibration of land masses. Clear? Now origin slide just I will just cover it fast. You can later draw it from the slides. So earthquake origin on the point it can be suppose it is a plate boundary. A plate boundary earthquake originate that point where it initially originates. When I say origination means the area where the energy release takes place. These two plates, these two land masses, they are having friction in between. As a result, energy stored. Suppose if that convergence force exceeds, so it can result in release of energy. So the area where initially the energy is released is referred as focus of earthquake. So please remember, earthquake in the origin it is known as focus. It is somewhere inside the earth, maybe crust majorly. So that area is known as focus. There is another name for focus. You can mention that as well. Focus is also referred as hypocenter. HYPO. Hypocenter. HYPO. Focus or hypocenter is the point where the earthquake originates. Now remember, from focus, the earthquake travels as waves in all the directions. You can see it is moving into this direction, it is moving into this direction, it is moving into this direction, and it is moving into deeper this direction as well. Earthquake from focus travels along all the directions as waves. And where it reaches first on the surface, naturally the nearest area. So where it reaches first on the surface point epicenter. Clear? So two terms clear. Focus on where the earthquake originates. Focus generally it is inside the surface. Focus in earthquake travels as waves, and where it reaches first on the surface, that is known as epicenter. Clear? Focus and epicenter. Focus and hypocenter. Don't confuse between hypocenter and epicenter. Hypocenter inside, epicenter on the surface. Remember this particular thing. Next heading. Next is seismic waves. You can write a small heading, that is seismic waves. Write down, there are two types of seismic waves. There are two types of seismic waves. One is known as body waves. One is known as body waves, and the second one is known as surface wave. Second one is known as surface wave. So there are two types of body seismic waves. The seismic waves you can mention it as earthquake waves. Same on earthquake waves or seismic waves. So you have two types. One is body wave. Second is surface wave. And further dividing, this body wave can further be divided into primary wave and secondary wave. This body wave can further divided into primary wave and secondary wave. Primary wave and secondary wave. And in other terms, you can mention it is also referred as P wave and S wave. P wave it is primary wave. S wave it is secondary wave. There are two types of body waves that are P wave and S wave. Clear? Next classification, you have surface wave. You have two types of surface wave. Surface wave, the first one is love wave. LOVE, love, normal love. It is love wave. And second one is Rayleigh wave. Second one is Rayleigh. R-E-I-L-E-I-G-H. Rayleigh. Sorry. The spelling is wrong here. It is R-A-Y. You can make it R-A-Y. Sorry. R-A-Y. It is R-A-Y. Rayleigh. L-E-I-G-H. This is Rayleigh. This is Rayleigh wave. So you have two types of it. Love wave and Rayleigh wave. So we just have to understand this one. Here we important to deal with this one, body wave, because this will help us in understanding the interior of the earth. This is important here. This one we'll just try to understand slightly. Now, what is this two wave? Body wave and surface wave. Let's see. Can you see here? Focus lana earthquake generate avunni. From focus, it moves towards the surface. So, this wave move inside the body of the earth. So, this wave which is traveling inside the body of the earth is referred as body wave. Is it clear? Earthquake wave originate in the focus area. And from the focus area, it travels in all the directions from within the body of the earth. And that is known as body wave. Now, this body wave, when it reaches the surface, it is known as epicenter. From epicenter, it moves as a different type of wave, and that is known as surface wave. This epicenter in the surface direction move. You might have heard that epicenter is a strong strike. How do you weak icon? Why? Because of the epicenter in the travel. So epicenter in it travels from the surface, and that is known as surface wave. So how can we say what are these two types? One is my body wave and surface wave. And suppose this is my body of the earth. The body of the earth is suppose this is the point where earthquake originated. E point in when it travels inside the earth. When it travels inside the earth in all different directions, it is referred as body waves. Once it reaches the surface at the epicenter, from epicenter it travels in different directions along the surface, and that is referred as surface wave. Is that clear? Body wave, it travels from focus to the surface. Surface wave, it travels from epicenter on different sides along the surface. Is it clear? Difference between body wave and surface wave. Now, details primary and secondary. Wait, let me just finish this one. It's a very small topic. Love wave and Rayleigh wave. Star mark point beneath this classification, you can mention except primary wave. Write down except primary wave. All others are transverse waves. Except primary waves, all others are transverse wave. T-R-A-N. You can write this spelling right. You can mention transverse waves. I'm not writing it fully. So except primary wave, all others are transverse wave. Now please understand, basically we consider two types of wave. One is transverse wave, second is known as longitudinal wave. Leave it on word details on the body and just what is longitudinal wave and a transverse wave. Now suppose a wave in the propagation direction. Propagation direction means suppose this is the direction in which a particular wave is moving. Wave move in the direction is clear. Now a to move if the particle along the wave is vibrating perpendicularly. Wave either direction move in direction perpendicularly vibrate we will call it as transverse wave. So please remember, either direction wave move in direction material vibrate in perpendicular. So perpendicular vibrate move we will call it transverse wave. Similarly, there are some waves in which the particle vibrates parallel. It vibrates parallel to the direction of the propagation of wave. Parallelly vibrate it is referred as longitudinal wave. Is it clear?
Clear.
Yes. So transverse wave and longitudinal waves. So now let me just finish this one. What is love wave and Rayleigh wave? That means, can I say secondary wave is a transverse wave? Love wave is a transverse wave, and Rayleigh wave is also a transverse wave. That is except P wave. All are transverse wave. P wave is a longitudinal wave. This one. Rest all are that is secondary, love wave and Rayleigh wave. They are your this transverse waves. Now let's see love wave and Rayleigh wave endana. Love wave, Rayleigh wave endana? They are surface wave aanu. Surface wave endana? This is my surface. Surface lo suppose this is my epicenter. Ee epicenter inna ingottu move cheyunna wave, ingottu move cheyunna wave. They are referred as my surface wave. Surface wave le rendu type, love and Rayleigh. Both are transverse wave. So what is the difference between them? So we have to understand. So let's consider, suppose, how to show it here, slide nokam, okay, I guess. Can you recognize the difference between these two figures? Please check this slide. Love wave versus Rayleigh wave. This is the direction of propagation of wave, but along this direction, ഇവിടെ നിങ്ങൾ നോക്കാനാണെങ്കിൽ ആ മെറ്റീരിയൽ വൈബ്രേഷൻ എങ്ങനെയാണ്? ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് അപ്പ് ആൻഡ് ഡൗൺ. ഈ ഡയറക്ഷന്റെ അപ്പ് ആൻഡ് ഡൗൺ, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് പെർപെൻഡിക്കുലർലി അപ്പ് ആൻഡ് ഡൗൺ ആണ് ഇവിടെ വൈബ്രേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഇവിടുത്തെ വൈബ്രേഷൻ എങ്ങനെയാണ്? അതും പെർപെൻഡിക്കുലർ ടു ദി വേവ് ഡയറക്ഷൻ തന്നെയാണ്, ബട്ട് ദേ ആർ വൈബ്രേറ്റിംഗ് അലോങ് ദി സർഫസ് സിഗ്സാഗ് പാത്ത്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദി ബേസിക് ഡിഫറൻസ്. ഇത് മനസ്സിലായില്ലെങ്കിൽ യു കൻ സീ ഇറ്റ് ഹിയർ. ഈ ഫിഗർ നോക്കുക. ദിസ് ഇസ് ദി ബെസ്റ്റ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ. ക്യാൻ യു സീ ദിസ് റോഡ്? ഇറ്റ് വാസ് എ സ്ട്രെയിറ്റ് റോഡ്, ബട്ട് ആഫ്റ്റർ ദി earthquake you can see ഈ പീസസ് എല്ലാം അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും ഡിസ്പ്ലേസ് ആയി. എന്തുകൊണ്ട് ഡിസ്പ്ലേസ് ആയി? ബിക്കോസ് ഹൊറിസോണ്ടലി ഇത് ഇങ്ങനെ ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ആയി. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് along a horizontal plane these materials are getting shifted. Up and down movement alladu sidewise shift avana. That sidewise shift avanengil we call it longitudinal wave. അതേപോലെ ഈ up and down movement ഉണ്ടാവുകയാണെങ്കിൽ we call it Rayleigh wave. Is it clear? നിങ്ങൾ ഇത്ര ആലോചിച്ചാൽ മതി. ലവ് വേവ് എന്താണ്? You can consider a snake crawling on the ground. ഒരു പാമ്പ് അഴഞ്ഞു പോകുന്ന രീതി. That is known as your love wave, horizontal vibration. Rayleigh wave എന്താണ്? ഉള്ള ലാൻഡ് മാസ് അപ്പ് ആൻഡ് ഡൗൺ, മേലോട്ടും താഴോട്ടും മൂവ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. That is your Rayleigh wave. Is that clear? Difference between love wave and Rayleigh wave?
Clear answer.
Okay, everybody?
Clear answer.
Clear answer.
Sir.
Okay. So if I want to link tsunami here, tsunami will be associated with which component? Love wave component ആയിരിക്കും, Rayleigh wave component ആയിരിക്കും? കാരണം ലവ് വേവ് എങ്ങനെ? സപ്പോസ് ഓഷ്യന്റെ അകത്തോടെ ഒരു പാമ്പ് അഴിഞ്ഞു പോകുന്നു. What happens? The water just moves horizontally. അതിനകത്ത് അപ്പ് ആൻഡ് ഡൗൺ മൂവ്മെന്റ് വരുന്നില്ല. ബട്ട് ഒരു സ്ട്രോങ് അപ്വേർഡ് മൂവ്മെന്റ് വന്നാലേ വെള്ളം പൊങ്ങുള്ളൂ. So upward movement is associated with Rayleigh wave. So please remember, tsunamis are associated with this Rayleigh component. So love wave, Rayleigh wave അത്ര മനസ്സിലാക്കിയാൽ മതി. രണ്ടും ട്രാൻസ്വേഴ്സ് വേവ്സ് ആണ്. ബട്ട് പ്ലെയിൻ ആക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന വ്യത്യാസമാണ്. ഒന്ന് ഹൊറിസോണ്ടൽ സർഫസിലാണ് ആക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, ഒന്ന് അപ്പ് ആൻഡ് ഡൗൺ മൂവ്മെന്റ് ആണ്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദി ഓൺലി difference. Now let us move into the most important area, that is the primary and secondary wave. That is, I am going to deal with this two area. I am going to deal with this primary and secondary. So you can make a difference. You can make a small table here. One side la primary waves eduvva, one side la secondary waves eduvva. You can differentiate them. One side you can mention primary wave, second side secondary. Tamil oda difference edivakku. First difference. Can I say primary wave is a longitudinal wave?
Yes.
And transverse, and secondary wave is a transverse. That is the first difference. Right now. Okay. Repeat. Primary wave is a longitudinal wave. Secondary wave is a transverse wave. That is the first difference. Second difference. Primary wave is faster. It is faster. Secondary wave relatively slower. Relatively in the in comparison to primary wave, secondary waves are slower. So this random compare either. Primary wave is faster than secondary wave. Okay, so primary wave is faster. You have to write the values in bracket. Homework edu kandupidichu okka. What is homework? Generally average speed of primary wave etrayana, average speed of secondary wave etrayana. Samayam undayi kandupidikku allengi leave it. It is not that important. So primary wave and secondary wave, faster and slower. Next is star mark later. Next point. Primary wave is similar to allengi is analogous to sound wave. Primary wave is similar to or analogous to sound wave. Primary wave is similar to sound wave. That is, it can pass through any medium. That is, it can pass through any medium. Any medium means solid, liquid or gas. I repeat, primary wave is analogous to or similar to sound wave. That is, it can pass through any medium. Secondary wave, it can pass only through solids. That is the most important point that will help us in understanding the interior. Secondary wave, it can pass only through solids.
Yes.
Okay. One more difference about primary wave, short questions ഒക്കെ വരുവാണെങ്കിൽ you can mention differences. Now primary wave, let me just show it here. Okay, this is my primary wave and secondary wave. See the difference. Primary wave എന്താണ്? It's a longitudinal wave. Longitudinal wave means ഏത് ഡയറക്ഷനിലോട്ടാ മൂവ് ചെയ്യുന്ന വേവ് അതേ ഡയറക്ഷനിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ വൈബ്രേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും. And when I say it vibrates like this, can I say it compresses some materials and it expands some material? Is suppose ഇവിടുന്ന് വേവ് കുറച്ച് പാർട്ടിക്കിൾ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് മൂവ് ചെയ്തു. അപ്പോൾ എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും? ഇവിടെ കിടക്കുന്ന മെറ്റീരിയൽ they get compressed. ഇവിടെ കിടക്കുന്ന മെറ്റീരിയൽ they get pulled, expand out. അതേപോലെ വീണ്ടും തിരിച്ചിങ്ങോട്ട് പോകുമ്പോൾ this gets compressed, this gets expanded. So wherever this primary waves passes through, it continuously compresses and expands the material. So primary wave it continuously compresses and expands the material through which it passes. That is the point. Write down primary wave. It compresses and expands the material through which it passes. And when I say it compresses and expands, compression and expansion means endana? Can I say compression and expansion will change the volume of a material? Compression ആവുമ്പോൾ volume കുറയും, expansion ആവുമ്പോൾ volume കൂടും. So you can directly mention അതിന്റെ താഴെ തന്നെ എഴുതിക്കോ. So it affects the volume of the material through which it passes. Primary wave തന്നെ അതിന്റെ തൊട്ട് താഴെ എഴുതിക്കോ. So it affects the volume of the material through which it passes. It affects the volume of the material through which it passes. Similarly, next side വരുക സെക്കൻഡറിയിൽ what happens? ഈ മെറ്റീരിയലിനെ മൊത്തം അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും മൂവ് ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. That is, can I say it dislocates the material through which it passes? ഇവിടെയുള്ള മെറ്റീരിയലിനെ അങ്ങോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകുന്നു, അവിടുത്തെ മെറ്റീരിയലിനെ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നു. So it dislocates the material. So you can write secondary wave. In secondary wave, the material gets dislocated. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ it dislocates the material through the medium which it passes. It dislocates the material through which it passes. So, and so dislocation means, can I say it is altering the shape of the material? Right? So it alters, so it affects the shape of the material through which it passes. So please remember difference in that. Primary wave affects the volume of material through which it passes. Secondary wave affects the shape of the material through which it passes. That is the basic difference. So I hope this is clear, right? No? So I'm moving into the next area. That is, we are going to study the interior now. Interior ne kuറിച്ച് എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലായത്? Clear? This is the same figure. You can differentiate primary, secondary, longitudinal wave, Rayleigh wave എല്ലാം അതിനകത്ത് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. These are the differences. So this one, love and Rayleigh, ഇപ്പോഴും confusion ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ this one just you have to remember. Love and Rayleigh എവിടെയാണ് നടക്കുക? We are considering them on the surface. These are surface waves ആണ്. Epicenter ന്ന് surface various സ്ഥലത്ത് നടക്കുന്ന സാധനമാണ്. But ഇത് എവിടെ നടക്കുക? It is happening inside the body of the earth. That is the basic difference. Same thing. Okay. Now let us understand the concept of shadow zone. So this will help us in understanding the interior of the earth. ഇവിടെ നിങ്ങൾ ഓർത്തിരിക്കാൻ എന്താണ്? ഓർത്തിരിക്കാൻ just one thing, that is special property of P wave and S wave. What was the special property? P wave can pass through any medium, S wave can pass through solids only. So considering that, we are going to deal with this topic, that is shadow zones. Now, ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ എന്താ ചെയ്യുക means it's a small experiment. In this experiment, what we do is we place seismograms on the surface of the earth everywhere. എല്ലാ സ്ഥലത്തും seismograms വെക്കുകയാണ്. Seismograph means it's a device which measures these waves. ഈ earth surface എല്ലാം നമ്മൾ seismographs place ചെയ്തു വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട് at different areas. And what we are doing is we are artificially generating type of wave, maybe P wave in this area. So ഈ ലൊക്കേഷനിൽ നമ്മൾ P wave generate ചെയ്യുവാണ് and എല്ലാ സ്ഥലത്തും നമ്മൾ seismographs വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. And what did we say? We said that P waves can travel through any medium. Yes, that means if I am generating a P wave from this area, if it travels through all the medium, that means it has to pass through the entire earth and reach this side as well. That is P wave. If I am generating it here, the recording of this P wave I must get everywhere on the surface of the earth because it can travel through any medium. That is the concept. So I am generating P wave from somewhere on the surface and I want to get the readings on entire surface of the earth. So I am reading, I have placed seismograms on the surface of the earth. So when I did this experiment, I have seen that there is a zone known as shadow zone where I am not getting recording on the seismographs. Somewhere in between 100 to 145 degree. എനിക്ക് 145 degree എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഏത് ഡിഗ്രി ആണ്? ഈ ഡിഗ്രി. This is 0 degree. ഇവിടുന്ന് I'm measuring this angle. So this angle is 103 and this angle is 145. Somewhere between 100 to 145 degree on both the sides, I'm not getting any reading. That is, ഇവിടെ വെച്ചേക്കുന്ന seismograph എങ്ങും reading കിട്ടുന്നില്ല. ഇവിടെയും വെച്ചേക്കുന്ന seismograph reading കിട്ടുന്നില്ല. That is my first observation. What did I do? I am sending P wave from one of the location, and I know that as it travels through every part, every medium, it should reach everywhere on the surface. But it is not happening. So I'm not getting it in between 100 to 145 degree on both sides. Similarly, I did another experiment that I started to emit sound wave, this secondary wave. And when I emitted secondary wave, I am noticing that it is even not visible in a larger area compared to P wave. P wave എവിടെ ആയിരുന്നു എനിക്ക് കാണാൻ പറ്റാത്ത somewhere between 100 to 145 or 105 to 145 or 150 degree വരെ കിട്ടുന്നില്ലായിരുന്നു. But S wave നോക്കിയപ്പം 100 ഡിഗ്രിക്ക് ബിയോണ്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 105 ഡിഗ്രിക്ക് ബിയോണ്ട് എങ്ങും കിട്ടുന്നില്ല. മറ്റേത് 145 ഡിഗ്രി കഴിയുമ്പോൾ വീണ്ടും കാണുന്ന കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഇത് അവിടെയും കിട്ടുന്നില്ല, എങ്ങും കിട്ടുന്നില്ല. So what is the meaning? I'm just comparing it again. You can see to figure very clearly. This is my shadow zone of S wave. What is this shadow zone? That is, I'm emitting S wave from some location, and which is the location where I'm not getting, where I'm not receiving the S wave. That is known as shadow wave of S wave. And then shadow zone of S wave is much larger compared to the shadow zone of P wave. Shadow zone 100 degree ki beyond, 105 degree ki beyond, എങ്ങും നമുക്ക് എക്സ് വേവിന്റെ റീഡിംഗ് കിട്ടുന്നില്ല. ഈ വേവിന്റെ റീഡിംഗ് നമുക്ക് ഒരു ചെറിയ ബെൽറ്റിൽ മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ കിട്ടാത്ത, റെസ്റ്റ് എല്ലാ സ്ഥലത്തും നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ട്. This was my finding. So please, you have to remember two things. You have to take this figure also. Slide തന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്, പിന്നെ സുഖമായിട്ടിരുന്ന് വരച്ചാൽ മതി. Don't draw it now. So 100 to 145 degree അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 105 to 150 degree, അത്രയും സ്ഥലം is the shadow zone of my S wave. Shadow zone of P wave എന്താണ്? 100 to 145 degree അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 105 to 150 degree. That is the shadow zone of P wave. Shadow zone എന്താണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായോ? I hope it's clear. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, what does this signify? Now, this one, let's see this one. S wave in the shadow zone. S wave, when I am seeing that it is not reaching on this area, I can clearly conclude something, that somewhere inside there is some change. There can be some change in state. Because S wave നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചിരുന്നു solid ലൂടെ മാത്രമേ പാസ് ചെയ്യൂ. ഇടയ്ക്ക് ലിക്വിഡ് വല്ലതും കിട്ടിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ it will stop there. And please remember, ഇത് നമ്മൾ ആർട്ടിഫിഷ്യലി ജനറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന വേവ്സ് ആണ്. സോ വി ക്യാൻ ട്രാക്ക് ദിം. അത് എത്ര ഡെപ്തിലെത്തി, എത്ര വെലോസിറ്റിയിൽ പോകുന്നു, യു ക്യാൻ ക്ലിയർലി സീ ദിസ്. ക്ലിയർ? ആൻഡ് വെൻ യു ട്രാക്ക് ദിസ് ഇൻ എ ഡിവൈസ്, മീൻസ് യു ക്യാൻ ട്രാക്ക് ഇറ്റ് ഓൺ വേരിയസ് ഡിവൈസസ്. ലീവ് ദാറ്റ് ആസ്പെക്ട്, യു ആർ നോട്ട് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിനിങ് ഇറ്റ്. സോ when you are leaving this wave from here, you can see the itreen depthileti, this is the velocity, itreen depthileti, this is the velocity, and where it stops, you can clearly see that. And when you are tracking the S wave, you have seen somewhere at 2900 kilometers deeper, that is surfacing agathote povana wave somewhere around 2900 kilometers deep etti kazhinappo it suddenly stops there, munnottu pogunnilla. And that clearly indicates that somewhere there is a change in medium. And that change in medium, it is, that means it is not solid. Not solid means earthil ullil gases itrayum huge area varan chance illa. So naturally it will be liquid. That's how we have concluded the outer core is liquid. I'm coming to this figure. We have studied that P wave, it passes through every area, right? It passes through every medium, but still why do you get a gap? The reason is when the wave changes the medium, it enters from solid to liquid, it refracts slightly or deflects slightly. Here also when it changes the medium, it refracts slightly. A refraction കാരണം നമുക്ക് അത് എല്ലാ സ്ഥലത്തും എത്തുന്നില്ല. That is the basic reason. So understood this particular thing. ഇത്രയും മനസ്സിലായോ? എന്താണ് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത്? S wave in the shadow zone is bigger. Why? Because it is obstructed when you encounter a liquid zone. P wave in the shadow zone is relatively smaller. Reason is why you are getting shadow zone, because you have a refraction happening when waves enter from one region to another. This much is it clear?
Clear ആണ് സാർ. ഒരു ഡൗട്ട്, ഈ നമ്മള് ഈ പി വേവും എസ് വേവും എങ്ങനെയാണ് ആർട്ടിഫിഷ്യലി ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നത്?
അതെ, നമ്മൾ ആർട്ടിഫിഷ്യൽ വേരിയസ് ഡിവൈസസ്, റൈറ്റ്? നമ്മൾ ഒരു വേവ് ട്രാക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി എർത്ത് വരാൻ വേണ്ടി കാത്തിരിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ലല്ലോ.
അല്ല, അത്രയും മാഗ്നിറ്റ്യൂഡ് വേണ്ടേ?
സ്ട്രോങ് മാഗ്നെറ്റ് ഒന്നും, യു ആർ നോട്ട് ക്രിയേറ്റിംഗ് എ സ്ട്രോങ് എർത്ത്. മൈനർ ഒരു വേവ് വിട്ടാ പോരെ. യു ക്യാൻ ജസ്റ്റ് ഹാവ് ടു ട്രാക്ക് ഇറ്റ്, അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. അല്ലാതെ എർത്തിനെ ഷേക്ക് ഒന്നും ചെയ്യിക്കത്തില്ല, അത്രയും സ്ട്രോങ് ആയിട്ടൊന്നും വേവ് വിടില്ല. Leave that. അത്രയൊന്നും പോണ്ട, റൈറ്റ്? Leave that. It's a scientific aspect. What they do, that is up to their subject. Geologists will do that, right? Okay. So, any other doubts? Clear? I'm moving into more deeper area. This is a combined figure.
Sir, ഇതിൽ
Combined
മോസ്റ്റ് ഡിസ്ട്രക്റ്റീവ് ഏതാണ് സർ? ഏത് പി വേവ് ആണോ എസ് വേവ് ആണോ?
Okay, please answer that question. Everybody is open to that. The question is, ഏതായിരിക്കും കൂടുതൽ destructive? I will answer it, but first you can try. ഏതായിരിക്കും ഇതിനകത്ത് കൂടുതൽ destructive? Suppose I am experiencing an earthquake on the surface. Clear? So you are living in Trivandrum, I am in Kayankulam presently. So suppose കൊല്ലത്ത് ഒരു epicenter ഉണ്ടാവുന്നു and we both are experiencing earthquake now. Trivandrum വരുന്നു, കായംകുളത്തും വരുന്നു. We are experiencing. So please tell me which is more destructive here, P wave or S wave? Anybody can answer.
No, sir. Surface level.
Right? You are living on this. So you are living on the surface. When you are living on the surface, you are not affected by these body waves. So which is the wave we are affected by? This surface wave. Okay. So there is no doubt, no question of this particular thing, right? So that is the basic confusion you will get. Clear? I hope that is clear now. It's a very good doubt. Confusion very no area, but എന്താണ് നമുക്ക് ഓർക്കേണ്ടത്? നമ്മളെ എഫക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആരാണ്? എപ്പിസെന്ററിൽ വരുന്ന വേവ് ആണ് നമ്മളെ എഫക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. We are on the surface. So അതിൽ you can think about it. The epicenter ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന ഏതാണ്? You have love wave and relay wave. Both are destructive, no doubt about it. Content and destructive nature വ്യത്യാസമാണെന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ. One shift horizontally, one shift vertically. Both are damaging. Is that clear? That doubt?
Yes sir, thank you.
Okay. So this is a combined shadow zone. Combined shadow zone എന്തുവാ പറയുക? See, combined shadow zone, when I consider the shadow zone of S wave, you cannot see it beyond 105 degree. P wave, 105 it gets gets invisible in that area. It misses out in that area, but it re-emerges in this area somewhere around 140-145 degree. It re-emerges. This is my shadow. This shadow zone of P wave is much smaller. Shadow zone of S wave is much larger. It is clearly mentioned it here. Now this figure is very important. In the class we can take it into your notes. This figure explains everything very clearly. As I said, we are generating these waves and we can track the velocity of this wave. And when I say we can track, that will help us in understanding these various states. Let's see. Epicenter surface we are emitting a wave. And when we are emitting a wave, suppose for example, we are emitting both the waves, suppose from the surface, P wave and S wave emitting, and we are tracking its velocity. And I get to see that when it is traveling initially, the P wave and then S wave and then velocity random increase area. This figure you can see lithosphere. Lithosphere area state and then it's solid state. So I can say the velocity of both increases. Now please remember one thing here. Whenever the wave passes inside the earth, if the density increases, its velocity will increase. Here. So here, then surface in a wave with two, and as the wave passes inside the earth, as it goes deeper and deeper, its velocity increases. That clearly shows me that I am standing on the surface where density is lesser, and as I am moving deeper and deeper, the density goes on increasing. This gives us idea. So surface അകത്തോട്ട് പോകുന്നതിനനുസരിച്ച് P wave S wave velocity increase ആവുക. So അവിടെ നിന്ന് conclusion എന്താണ്? I can say the surface area is solid in state, and as I move in, the velocity increases. Now suddenly somewhere around 270 kilometers suddenly we have noticed something, that the velocity of P wave and S wave both reduced. Velocity കുറഞ്ഞു. And you can specifically see this area. S wave ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ടോ ഇല്ലേ? Right? It is present. S wave absent ആയിട്ടില്ല. S wave is present and velocity മാത്രമേ കുറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളൂ. ഇവിടെ S wave absent ആവുകയായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ I would have concluded that I have entered into a liquid layer. That's why S wave is not passing. But S wave is passing here, but passing with difficulty. Difficulty means and velocity കുറഞ്ഞു. അതേപോലെ P wave ന്റെയും velocity കുറഞ്ഞു. So that's why I am concluding that this layer is not solid. കാരണം സോളിഡ് ആയിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് സംഭവിച്ചേനെ? ഇത് രണ്ടിന്റെയും വെലോസിറ്റി കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ഇൻക്രീസ് ആയിരുന്നു. കാരണം ഡെൻസിറ്റി കൂടി പോവാണ് അകത്തോട്ട് പോകുമ്പോൾ. ഇതിന് രണ്ടിന്റെ വെലോസിറ്റി കൂടേണ്ടതായിരുന്നു. ബട്ട് വെലോസിറ്റി രണ്ടിന്റെയും കുറയുന്നു. S wave absent ആകുന്നില്ല. That's why I said it is neither a liquid layer not a solid layer. So it's a transition. And that's why I said asthenosphere is a region which is made up of plastic material or semi-molten material. That is another solid characteristics ഉണ്ട്, liquid characteristics ഉണ്ട്. So liquid characteristics ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് രണ്ടിന്റെയും വെലോസിറ്റി കുറഞ്ഞു. Solid characteristics ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് രണ്ടും പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, S wave പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. So that's why I concluded as S wave is as we have a layer that is known as asthenosphere, which is in semi-molten state. Clear? I'm moving further deeper. Or 270 ഒക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞു അവിടെ ഒരു 270 ഒരു 100 150 അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 200 കിലോമീറ്റേഴ്സിന് തുടങ്ങി. നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഒരു 270 300 കിലോമീറ്റേഴ്സ് ഒക്കെ അടി പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 400 കിലോമീറ്റേഴ്സ് അടി പോയപ്പം ഇതിന്റെ വേരിയേഷൻസ് ആണ് അല്ല. സോ ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് യൂണിഫോം ലെയർ, റൈറ്റ്? ഡിഫറൻസസ്. ചില സ്ഥലത്ത് ഡെപ്ത് കുറവാണ്, ചില സ്ഥലത്ത് ഡെപ്ത് കൂടുതലാണ്. ലീവ് ദാറ്റ് ആസ്പെക്ട്. കുറച്ചുകൂടി അടി പോയപ്പോൾ I have seen the velocity of P and S wave suddenly increased again. And that shows that again I have entered into a solid layer. So velocity രണ്ടിന്റെയും കൂടി. So വീണ്ടും ഞാൻ അകത്തോട്ട് പോകുന്നതിനനുസരിച്ച് P and S wave velocity കൂടിക്കൊണ്ടേയിരിക്കുകയാണ്. That clearly shows that as I move inside, that is I'm somewhere in the mantle, and mantle അകത്ത് സോളിഡ് ആണ്, അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഡെൻസിറ്റി കൂടിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. അതാണ് വെലോസിറ്റി കൂടിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക, രണ്ടും പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. Now you can see this point. This is somewhere around 2,900 kilometers deeper. I can suddenly see the S wave stops here. P wave in the velocity കുറഞ്ഞു. S wave stops means I can clearly say now I have entered a liquid layer. Solid അല്ല, അതാണ് S wave പാസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്തത്. So I have entered into a liquid layer. So അവിടെ നമ്മൾ കൺക്ലൂഡ് ചെയ്തു I have entered a liquid layer. But P wave velocity പാസ് ചെയ്തു, P wave പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. So I am further tracking this. Track ചെയ്ത് കുറെ കൂടെ അടി പോയപ്പം this point is somewhere around 4,300 kilometers. I will draw another figure, don't worry. I will give you that values. Somewhere around 4,300 kilometers. I have again seen that the velocity of P wave jumped further, increased further, and that shows that I have again entered into a solid layer. Clear? അവിടെ വെലോസിറ്റി കൂടിയോണ്ട് എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി again entered into a solid layer. S wave വെലോസിറ്റി എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് കൂടാതെ? കാരണം S wave ഇവിടെ തന്നെ നിന്നു, അവിടെ വരെ എത്തുന്നില്ല. Clear? So P wave velocity വീണ്ടും കൂടിയപ്പോൾ I have concluded that it is a solid layer. Now let me just draw another figure to explain it further. You can draw it along with me in kilometers. You can write this is 0 kilometer. This can be somewhere around 60 kilometers. This one you can consider somewhere around 2,900 kilometers. This one is 6370 kilometers. 6370. ഇതാണ് നമ്മുടെ എർത്തിന്റെ സെൻട്രൽ ഡെപ്ത് 6370. സർഫസ് 0 kilometer. This is 3 ലെയർ. ഞാൻ ഏതൊക്കെയാണ് എഴുതിയിരിക്കുന്നത്? This layer is first one, crust. This layer is second one, mantle. This is third layer, core. Clear? So see, ഇത് ഞാൻ 60 എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ആവറേജ് ആണ്. ചില സ്ഥലത്ത് 100 ഉണ്ട്, ചില സ്ഥലത്ത് 30 ഉണ്ട്. You have difference. Leave it. 2,900 different layers. Now again I am breaking it. ഇതിനെ തന്നെ you can break it further. There can be outer crust and inner crust. അങ്ങനെ different layers ആയിട്ട് break ചെയ്യാം. Not much important. Still break it, right? Mantle area you can further break it. You have upper mantle, lower mantle ആയിട്ട് break ചെയ്യാം. And you remember one special thing here. It is mantle day. Somewhere here you have a special layer, and that is my asthenosphere. Somewhere here you have a special layer. It is in the upper portion of mantle, but not in the top portion. Somewhere here you have a special layer. It is asthenosphere. Yeah. And one more thing we have to add. Suppose I am mentioning another layer. That is my inner core and outer core boundary. It is somewhere around 4,300 kilometers. You can draw this figure. Okay. ഇതിനകത്ത് നമ്മൾ മെൻഷൻ ചെയ്ത എന്തായിരുന്നു? നേരത്തെ കണ്ട ഫിഗറിൽ ഇതാണ് കണ്ടത്. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ക്രസ്റ്റ് ഏരിയ. ഇവിടം വരെ ആ വേവ് ട്രാവൽ ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് അപ് ടു ദിസ് ഏരിയ. ഇവിടം വരെ ട്രാവൽ ചെയ്തപ്പോഴാണ് ഇറ്റ് വാസ് മൂവിങ് ഇൻ ദി സോളിഡ്. സോ രണ്ടിന്റെയും ഇവിടം വരെ പി വേവ് ആൻഡ് എസ് വേവിന്റെ രണ്ടിന്റെയും വെലോസിറ്റി വാസ് ഇൻക്രീസിങ്. അതായിരുന്നു നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം കണ്ടത്. ഇവിടെ എത്തിയപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ആസ്തനോസ്ഫിയർ റീജിയനിൽ എത്തിയപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് വി ഹാവ് സീൻ പി വേവ് ആൻഡ് എസ് വേവിന്റെ വെലോസിറ്റി കുറഞ്ഞു. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് അപ് ടു ദിസ് ഏരിയ, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് മൈ 2,900 കിലോമീറ്റേഴ്സ് വരെ velocity of both P wave and 9 wave S wave increased. ഇവിടുന്ന് S wave മിസ്സായി, റൈറ്റ്? ഇവിടുന്ന് S wave മിസ്സായി. P wave പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. P wave ഇവിടെ എത്തിക്കഴിഞ്ഞ് 4,300 എത്തിക്കഴിഞ്ഞ് velocity of P wave again increases. Velocity of P wave further increases, helps us in understanding as interior we have solid core. So interior state എന്തൊക്കെ എനിക്ക് പറയാം? This is known as my inner core. Okay, this is my inner core. So can I say my inner core is in solid state? This is my outer core. Outer core is in liquid state. Then my mantle, can I say majorly it is in solid state? But some portion of mantle I have something known as asthenosphere, which is in semi-molten or plastic state. And above that, that is my plate, it is in solid state. That is all about the interior of the earth. I repeat it here. എന്താണ് ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ ഫിഗർ വെച്ച് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്താണ് പറഞ്ഞത്. What is my interior? Study of interior is surface area which is above my asthenosphere known as plate or lithosphere. It is solid state. asthenosphere region semi-molten state or plastic state. Entire mantle, that is apart from your asthenosphere, it is in solid state. Outer core, it is in liquid state. Inner core, it is in solid state. In namakku engane manasilayi, we understood this particular thing via the propagation of these body waves. We propagated the body waves inside the earth, and we came to know about these various states of the earth's surface. Please tell me, everybody, is it clear till now? Interior states ellam clear aano?
Yes, sir.
Nobody explain again.
Okay. പറഞ്ഞുതരാം. നമ്മളിവിടെ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്? 1 minute, there is some message. So എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു വന്നത്? ഇവിടെ പറഞ്ഞു വന്നത്, we are from the surface emitting different types of waves, P wave and S wave. Emit ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് എന്താണ് കിട്ടുന്നത്? P wave and S wave ന്റെ വെലോസിറ്റി ഇനിഷ്യലി കൂടുന്നത് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ്? സോളിഡിലാണ് കൂടുന്നത്, ഡെൻസിറ്റി കൂടുമ്പോൾ. സോ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് മനസ്സിലായി? സർഫസ് ഏരിയ, ഇത് ഞാൻ ഏത് ഏരിയനെ കുറിച്ചാണ് പറയുന്നത്? ഈ P wave and S wave ന്റെ വെലോസിറ്റി കൂടുന്നത് ഐ എം മെൻഷനിങ് ഇറ്റ് അബൌട്ട് ഈ മേളത്തെ ഏരിയ, ഇതിന്റെ മേളിൽ, ഈ ആസ്ട്രോസ്ഫിയറിന്റെ മേളത്തെ റീജിയൻ. ഇവിടെ സോളിഡ് ആയതുകൊണ്ടാണ് പിന്റെയും എസിന്റെ രണ്ടിന്റെയും വെലോസിറ്റി കൂടുന്നത്. ക്ലിയർ? Then I have seen suddenly ഈ ആസ്ട്രോസ്ഫിയർ റീജിയൻ, ഈ യെല്ലോ കളറിൽ കാണിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്, അവിടെ എത്തിയപ്പോൾ രണ്ടും പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, ബട്ട് രണ്ടിന്റെയും വെലോസിറ്റി കുറഞ്ഞു. വെലോസിറ്റി കുറയുന്നത് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാ? ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് എൻറ്റയർലി എ സോളിഡ് ലെയർ, ഇറ്റ് ഹാസ് സം ലിക്വിഡ് ആസ്പെക്ട് ആസ് വെൽ. സോ പ്ലാസ്റ്റിക് ലെയർ ആണ്, സെമി മോൾട്ടൻ ലെയർ ആണ്. സോ എവിടെ നമുക്ക് വെലോസിറ്റി കുറഞ്ഞു? സംവെയർ ഇൻ ദിസ് ഏരിയ, സംവെയർ ഈ ബ്രൗണിഷ് ഷെയ്ഡ് ഉള്ള ഏഷ് കളറുള്ള ഷെയ്ഡ് കാണുന്ന സ്ഥലത്ത് വെലോസിറ്റി കുറഞ്ഞു. അത് ലീവ് ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ ദിസ് മച്ച് ഏരിയ, എൻറ്റയർ മാന്റൽ ഏരിയ, ഇവിടെ എന്താ സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്? ഇവിടെ വെലോസിറ്റി വീണ്ടും കൂടി തുടങ്ങി. യു കൻ ചെക്ക് ഇറ്റ് ഹിയർ. The velocity is, you can check it here, see, entire mantle area, velocity of P wave and S wave window increase. Shows that we are moving in a solid layer, and as we move inside, the velocity is continuously increasing. Now, E boundary nokwa. This is the boundary that I have drawn 2,900 kilometers below. This is the boundary I have drawn. You can see here 2,900 kilometers below. E boundary. Idana the boundary between mantle and core. So ഇവിടെ എത്തിയപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് what we have seen, S wave suddenly അവിടെ stop ആയെന്നാണ് കണ്ടത്. So you can see this is my S wave which suddenly stopped here. So S wave stop ആയപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് മനസ്സിലായി? We have studied initially, difference എഴുതിയപ്പോൾ പഠിച്ചിരുന്നു, S wave cannot pass through any other medium than solid. It can pass only through solids. So അവിടെ അത് stop ആയപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി നമുക്ക് medium change ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. That's why we said it's a liquid layer. കാരണം P wave ന്റെ velocity കുറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്, S wave miss ആയി. But കുറച്ചുകൂടെ അടിയിലെത്തി. എവിടെ എത്തി? 4,300 kilometers below. You can see it here somewhere. We have seen somewhere around 4,300 kilometers below. നമ്മൾ നോക്കിയപ്പോൾ മനസ്സിലായി അതിന്റെ അടിയിലോട്ട് വീണ്ടും വെലോസിറ്റി ഇൻക്രീസ് ആവുകയാണ്. That shows that I have entered into solid layer. That's why I concluded എന്താണ്? ഇന്നർ കോറിന്റെ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് എന്താണ്? സോളിഡ് ആണ്. ഔട്ടർ കോറിന്റെ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് എന്താണ്? ലിക്വിഡ് ആണ്. മാന്റലിന്റെ മെജോറിറ്റി സ്റ്റേറ്റ് എന്താണ്? സോളിഡ് ആണ്. ആസ്ട്രോസ്ഫിയറിന്റെ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് എന്താണ്? പ്ലാസ്റ്റിക് ആണ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സെമി മോൾട്ടൻ ആണ്. മേളത്തെ പ്ലേറ്റിന്റെ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് എന്താണ്? സോളിഡ് ആണ്. That's why I concluded different states of the interior of the earth. Yes. Now please remember, you have to, the figure la namukku rendu moonu saana add cheyam. Rendu moonu saana means I will add something known as discontinuity. Discontinuity nu parnja endana? Which is not continuous. That is when you travel from your crust to mantle. Crust in the mantle lotu pogumbom edana boundary? This is the boundary. Yes or no? This is the boundary. There is small difference. So നമ്മൾ രാവിലെ പകലിൽ നിന്ന് രാത്രിയിലോട്ട് പോകുമ്പോൾ എങ്ങനെ? You have a transition zone, that is evening. അതേപോലെ രാത്രിയിൽ നിന്ന് രാവിലെ ആകുമ്പോൾ you have a morning to light zone. So ആ ഒരു സോൺ എന്താണ്? ക്രസ്റ്റിൽ നിന്ന് മാന്റിലോട്ട് പോകുമ്പോൾ സോറി കേട്ടില്ല. യെസ് വെരി ഗുഡ് യെസ്. സോ എന്താ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു വരുന്നത്? നമ്മുടെ ക്രസ്റ്റിൽ നിന്ന് മാന്റിലോട്ട് പോകുമ്പോൾ you have a small discontinuity. Discontinuity means ഒരു ട്രാൻസിഷൻ സ്റ്റേജ്. ഇവിടെയുള്ള ഇതിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ പറയുന്നത് ഫസ്റ്റ് ട്രാൻസിഷൻ, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ബൗണ്ടറി ബിറ്റ്വീൻ ക്രസ്റ്റ് ടു മാന്റിൽ. ആ ബൗണ്ടറിനെ പറയുന്നതാണ് മൊഹറോവിസിക് ഡിസ്കണ്ടിന്യൂറ്റി. സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് ഈസ് MOHORO, മൊഹറോവിസിക് VICIC, മൊഹറോവിസിക് discontinuity. It is a boundary or discontinuity between crust and mantle. Second major discontinuity, this area, that is mantle and core ladaki, you have a discontinuity, and that is known as Gutenberg discontinuity. Gutenberg, GUTTENBERG, Gutenberg discontinuity. Gutenberg discontinuity. ഇത് രണ്ടു ഓർത്തിരുന്നാൽ മതി. ഇപ്പൊ അതിൽ കൂടുതൽ ആവശ്യമുള്ള. You have other discontinuity also, Conrad, Repetier, Lyman, അങ്ങനെ പല discontinuities ഉണ്ട് ഇതിന്റെ ഇടയ്ക്ക്. Mainly no one is going to ask you, I hope. So leave that in, right? So remember these two major. Prelims-ലൊക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ കുറിച്ച് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ വരാം, ഓപ്ഷൻസിൽ. മെയിൻസിൽ അങ്ങനെ വരാൻ ചാൻസ് ഇല്ല, ഫാക്ച്വൽ. So leave it. You can remember these two. lesser the better, right? Revise it and remember it. So this year, Morrow is discontinuity order. It is between crust and mantle. Gutenberg discontinuity order, mantle and core. So this is our study of the interior of the earth in the study. Earthquake waves in the study. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Then we will look into few areas that we will do in the next class. Few areas, as I said, some answer writing like earthquake in the management or a particular condition. I will just give you some easy points that you can write. We will discuss it in the next class. Some mitigation steps, how we are going to control earthquake, how we are going to handle earthquake, and we will study tsunamis. Tsunamis next class. So earthquake in the portions we will take in the next class. We will continue with tsunami, and after that we will move into volcanism also in the next class.